Hey everybody, I'm Chris. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing another 4K review. This time we're going to be reviewing Tales from the Darkside, the movie. This comes to us courtesy of Scream Factory. We get a new 4K scan of the camera negative, which is always nice to see. We have Dolby Vision here, but that's where the newness stops. Oh, we do get one new audio commentary. This is a pretty bare bones, typical, just kind of, hey, we're just gonna put this out in 4K because we either want you to double dip, or if you don't own it, we want you to buy the 4K version for a much higher price tag. So if you already own this movie, this may help you in your deciding factor if it's something you're going to pick up as a double dip. And if you don't own the movie, this will also kind of help your case if you're interested in buying it. So if you are interested, let me know down below. Are you going to be picking up Tales from the Darkside? Also, what other Scream Factory releases are you looking forward to this year? You can't say The Ring because that just got postponed to March. Silver Bullet also got pushed, so that I think that comes out December 5th, so that will be next week. I don't know what's going on production-wise at Scream Factory, but it seems like a lot of stuff lately is getting pushed. The Ring got pushed by 4 months, so I don't know what's happening with that. They did detail all the extras for that, but I was excited to kind of see how The Ring would be in 4K, and so I don't know what's happening with that. I honestly could care less about the other two, but I wanted The Ring in 4K, so that will be something we'll cover when it comes out in March. So, you know, another one bites the dust. I guess we'll see how that turns out. Hopefully it's good. Anyway, let's get into this movie. So this is another anthology film, which brings together Stephen King and George A. Romero doing stories here. So that is cool to see. Is it on the level of Creepshow? It is not. Check out that review. I do have a review for that 4K on the channel already. But I do like this movie a lot. I really do like it. I like the different stories here. We do also get two other voices in the mix here. We've got Michael McDowell. I think that's Michael McDowell, who wrote Beetlejuice. And then we've also got Sir Conan Doyle here. What? No, he's got another name. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the Sherlock dude, who also is contributing here as well. This is a pretty solid package overall, but how is the audio and the video? So this is a new 4K scan of the camera negative, which is always nice to see. Finish off in Dolby Vision, which I do like Dolby Vision a lot. That's my preference if it's coming to HDR. I really like Dolby Vision a lot over HDR10 and HDR10 Plus, so I don't really like those. They're fine, but I prefer Dolby Vision because all my stuff is Dolby Vision capable. It always looks better for me. I like it personally, so I'm always happy that Scream Factory does Dolby Vision. Most companies now do Dolby Vision over HDR10. You do have the weird outliers that are like, no, HDR10, like Oppenheimer over there is HDR10. So it's fine, but let's talk about it. So like I said, the video, it looks good. The one thing I will tell you going in, so when you're we'll talk about the very beginning of the movie because this is present in the Blu-ray, but it's also going to be more prevalent here in the 4K. There is a lot of grain here, which you would expect from a 35mm film, something from 1990, that's fine. There's a lot of camera actual negative damage here, which it's probably because they didn't handle this correctly. This is a Paramount movie, so sometimes they didn't handle these things properly. But I don't know what happened in that aspect, but there's a lot, especially in the very beginning, there's a lot of blemishes and damage of the actual film stock. So just know that going in, it is not pervasive through the whole movie, but it is there in some element. And just know that going in that it isn't anything with your TV, it isn't anything like that. It is just the actual negative itself has some camera damage. Some of these films that you see, like Vinegar Syndrome, stuff like that, when they're pulling these like old VHS stocks, it can happen. This obviously has a Blu-ray, which looked decent, but we do get obviously the new Dolby Vision treatment, we get the new 4K scan, and we get the HDR treatment here, which is a uptick in quality. I think it looks very good here. It's very muted though, which is the palette of this movie. But even in the very beginning where you've got the red Jeep that kind of starts out that she gets into, that red in that is a very deep red, and I think the HDR does a lot there to kind of bring those colors and make them a little more bolder, even though it is more muted in tone. But overall, I really like that. On the audio front, it is the same track that we got on the Blu-ray, so nothing fancy there. It's that DTS 5.1 master audio mix. It sounds good. It's nothing like earth-shattering, but you know, it does the job. It does it well. Overall, we got a solid package here. The question is, are you gonna be picking this up? If you already own it, I think it's a nice tick up in detail, in HDR, stuff like that, in Dolby Vision, so you get all of that. Is it worth upgrading if you're already on it? Probably not. A lot of good 4K players like the Panasonic ones do a really good job of upscaling. So I would say on this one, you could probably pass if you don't own it. It's one of those, if you really, really like the movie, like I really like this movie, so it's one of those that it was ready to pick up on 4K. I also don't own it, so that is the big factor here, is some of these 4Ks that are coming out, you're like, oh, why would you buy these? I don't own the movies. I wasn't a big Scream Factory fan before. Honestly, during their Blu-ray time, there was a lot of other boutiques that I was really into, and the boutique labels for me has only happened in the last couple years, so I kind of missed out on a lot of their Blu-rays. I was picking and choosing some that I really liked, like Trick or Treat. There was a handful of them that I bought here and there, but I really wasn't buying like boutique label movies like I am now. And so for me, a lot of these 4Ks that you see me pick up, the reason why I'm reviewing a lot of them and picking them up is because I don't actually own the film. So that's why. But for you, it may be different. If you've already owned every Blu-ray that that Scream Factory has put out, it may not be something that you're like, going out today. Maybe pick it up on a sale. I really like this movie, so I was happy to kind of pick it up in 4K. It does look better on the detail front, so I do like that. You get a new audio commentary there, but again, this is like a Motel Hell or a My Bloody Valentine, where it is one of those that is just kind of repackaging it in 4K and putting it out for those that don't own it or that want to pay that higher price tag to get the 4K. So, like I said, let me know down below, are you picking up this release or are going to be picking up Silver Bolt? We'll be covering that next week, so I'm hoping that that has a good transfer. I'll be covering the Prophecy trilogy coming from Vinegar Syndrome whenever I get that. They usually ship kind of after Black Friday, so I've got a number of titles coming from them, so look out for reviews from those in the coming weeks and days, depending on when I get them. Like I said, I've got some new reviews coming later on. Thanksgiving and November is usually my breather time, so if you've noticed, I haven't been doing that much. That is why I usually like to take a break after October, especially because October is so busy for me. But that's all I've got. Thanks for stopping by, guys. I'm doing some videos for you at the end, as always. I recently covered Little Monsters, the Howie Mandel Savage Brother movie, so definitely check that out if you want to see my thoughts on that. I know it was a little different for me, but I like that film and I really wanted to talk about it. I also did a horror haul, so you can see what I picked up over the last month and a half or so, horror and non-horror. So there's a lot of steelbooks in there, so if you like steelbooks, definitely check that out. If you like what we do here, consider becoming part of the collective, and I'll talk to you guys in my next 4K review.